What is up, guys? We are live right now in the group. Okay, so we're going to get some crazy stuff today, guys. I've taken a lot of sales calls. I've done a lot of fucking sales calls over the last 9 years that I've been in sales. And I come to notice a lot of things. So what I'm going to share with you today is going to be a more in-depth look behind the scenes on how you deal with different personalities. You know what? I could probably actually make sure that I'm live in the group. That would be, I guess, helpful. Let me go over to the group right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, the replay, well, this is being done live in my Facebook group. Let me make sure I'm here. Boom, we are live. All right, guys. So as I said before, I've done a lot of sales calls over the last 9 years, and I've come to notice a lot of different personality types. So if you've noticed me say a lot of these things on my live calls when I go to close deals anywhere from, I mean, you guys just saw me close a $36,000 deal. My Facebook group, you guys have seen me close $67,000 deals, $20,000 a month, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you guys the things that I do when I hear certain things. Now, there comes a point in your sales career where you no longer have to use scripts, but more so, you're going to be able to hear certain types of word indicators that are going to allow you to know exactly how to navigate the call. This isn't a framework. This is deep psychology that I'm going to go over today. I might lose some people because you guys might be like, this isn't very fun, but I'm telling you right now, this shit is going to blow your fucking mind. It is insane. I've never done trainings like this. I'm only putting trainings this intricate in my Art of Sales program. But we're just to dive right into it, guys. Let me come over. Here. Boom. Okay. So let me know that you guys can see this. Drop a 2 in the chat. If you guys can see this, I'll minimize this screen too. So this way we can, this way I can get a better look at this. Boom here. Okay. Drop a 2 in the chat if you guys can see my screen. We're going to get into the core principles here. So let me know, drop a 2, make sure that you guys can see my screen because I'm going to start right here. We got 15 minutes. This is going to be a very quick training, right to the point. Again, drop a 2 so I know you guys can see me in here. I know it's a little bit lagged. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is being done live in my Facebook group. So if you want to be involved, then you need to be in my Facebook group, which you can find a link below. Let me get some 2s, guys, so this way I can continue on with the presentation because if not, yeah, guys, I haven't done a lot of lives. That's totally on me. I've actually been curating a shit ton of new content. I'm getting way more in depth now with sales. I've been able to help a lot of different types of business. As you guys know, digital marketing companies, which I will still continue to do. I built a few agencies up to 5 figures a month within 30 days. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I'll be doing more content, guys, so you'll get a lot more content, but it's going to be very advanced. I'm going to be moving towards sales to make sure I can focus just on sales because we've been able to help so many different types of companies, and that's my main strength. So we're going to go ahead and focus on that. So let's start with how you listen yourself into the sale by leveraging personality types, okay? Next. So first, before we get into this, I just like to state some basics, right? The core principles of communication. It's not listed here, but I want you guys to know everything I teach you. I want you to make sure you're obligated to only use this for good and that you're never going to use anything that I teach you in any form of manipulation one way or the other, whether that's in friendships, relationships, or in business. You always use the material you're learning here for good. So let me get a 100 in the comments if you guys can agree to that. I like to see some oaths because what I teach is very, very powerful stuff. And when you master the art of sales and communication, both verbal and nonverbal cues, literally the world is at your fingertips, okay? So let me get a 100 in the comments if you guys can promise me not to use this for evil. And no, this is not a sales pitch at the end. This is literally just a free training like you guys know I do in my free Facebook group. We crush it with some next level shit, okay? Awesome, got some hundreds. So I'm gonna get some hundreds in here. 3,000s, oh my God, this is like a lot of numbers. Okay, so let's get into the rest of these. It is not your job to manipulate and hijack the conversation, okay? A lot of people feel like they need to lead their customer to their destination when you need to make sure the customer is willing to buy from you to get to their destination. You cannot do that by using leading questions. Leading questions are called hijacking the conversation, is what it's referred to as. You do not want to do that, because then your prospect no longer feels like they can be open and honest with you. All of a sudden, now you are the one guiding the conversation. They disagree with anything you say. They feel wrong. Okay, so they'll never want to buy from you because they don't feel comfortable. All right. Next, it's your obligation to help the prospect better understand their thoughts. Guys, people confuse sales with being able to quote unquote close a deal, but a true communicator, someone that is a master in the art of sales, okay? A true communicator knows that it is their obligation to be able to help someone unpack their deepest thoughts or the root of the thought by asking a series of questions, being able to get the prospect to be able to better understand their own thoughts. That is when you've become a master communicator, all right? As humans, this is what's so amazing about being human, is that we subconsciously and sometimes consciously will leave breadcrumbs in order to create or cry out for deeper understanding. Okay? A lot of people don't realize this happens, and I'm going to get into showing you exactly how. But what you want to do is be able to master searching for these clues. If you can see the clues and not just hear words, you're going to be able to know exactly the way somebody wants to be spoken to. And remember how I said that, wants to be spoken to, not needs to be spoken to, okay? That will come. There's a time and place for that. But you have to know how they want to be spoken to first. And when you find the why behind these words, you have full, basically, I don't want to say control, but essentially you know how to navigate that conversation in a way that's going to be mutually beneficial. Boom. Personality number 1. Okay. Let me get a freaking 1,000 in the chat if you guys are stoked for this right now. We're about to get into it. What I'm going to show you guys here is literally from moving here forward, this sales content I show you guys is going to be some of the most intricate on the internet. Okay. I'm going to get crazy. And then my paid trainings are obviously next level from that. But the opinionator. Okay. A lot of the stuff you're going to notice with opinionators, right? People that are opinionated, you're going to hear a lot of this, a lot of I's. Okay. A lot of believes, a lot of thinks, a lot of in my opinion, and a lot of, well, what I've heard, right? Who else has heard this stuff before? Okay. Well, I believe that. Well, I think that, well, in my opinion, well, this is what I heard. Okay. How many times we heard the customer say that? Or how many times we heard that in just conversation in general? Okay. They believe their opinions are more important than their surrounding opinions or their surrounding voices. Okay. This is the opinionator. Okay. Now, your diagnosis to that is that you understand at this point, it's their desire to be seen, to have attention, and to always be validated that they're right. Okay. You have to notice that with people like this, where they say, well, this is what I think. Well, this is what I've heard, or this is my opinion. Like, they value what they're saying more than anything else. So they just want to be constantly validated. Okay. They want to be constantly seen, heard, and have attention. Okay. Because they believe that everything they're doing is the right way. How many times you guys ran into this with the customer, right? Or the prospect? But they're always saying, well, I know, trust me, Facebook ads works way better when you do it like this. This is what I know. Or I think if we did it like this, it would be better. All right. You need to know how to address them. Most people get defensive, and that's the wrong way to go. It'll immediately shut the customer off, or the prospect you haven't sold them yet. So your approach needs to be this. You're going to continue to ask for anything else at the end of every great idea they have. Now, if a lot of you know me and a lot of you know how I sell, it is very unique. Okay. And you've probably heard, if not watched, all my YouTube videos on me closing 5-figure and 6-figure deals. And I uploaded them to YouTube. And the way I do that is I go in, and whenever I see a person like this, I just keep asking them, okay, anything else? I let them exhaust their entire knowledge base. Okay. Because I want them to know that they're fucking awesome, that everything they say is totally right. Even though that's not always the case. There's a saying, it used to be the customer is always right. But in today's day, where people are much smarter and we're much better communicators, it's typically the customer is usually wrong, but agree with them anyway. So you can sell them what they want and give them what they need. All right. That's how that works. Write that down. But you want to continue to ask them anything else after everything they say. Oh, yeah, no, I think that this is the best way to do Facebook ads. Hey, totally agree with you. Anything else? We'll get down to that script here in a sec. At the end, you're always going to say, great idea. At the end of every great idea they have, you're going to do this. Okay. Let them exhaust themselves so they know that you know that they're awesome. All right. Make sure they feel heard and validated. Here's a script. You're going to say, I totally agree. I can see how that would make sense. Have you also considered? This is going to be your line right here, because you're expanding on what they currently know. You're not trying to prove them wrong. Okay. This will create the illusion that your suggestion was their suggestion all along. This is how you run with my inception selling process here, as it sounds like you're branching off their brilliant ideas by including your suggestion as an expansion to their own current beliefs. You guys following me? Okay. Let me get a 3,000 in the chat if you guys are following me. This is sick stuff, guys. I'm telling you, I've never positioned my education in this way, so I'm really fucking excited because I feel like this is very simple. The most simple way to explain it. Oh my God, I love mint tea. Okay, so on to the next one. Let me get 3,000 in the chat if you guys are digging that. I'm going to refresh the screen here. 3,000 in the chat, guys. We're going to keep going. Boom. Personality number 2. Okay. This is the X. Yeah, you guys are about to shit yourselves with how fucking insane this training is. I'm telling you. I've said this before. You learn to master the art of effective communication. You have anything. You can control any conversation, and you could create any desired outcome. I'm not kidding. Like, this is the absolute next level in communication. I've never positioned it in this way, but I've been doing a lot more reading, and I've been listening to my mentors more, and I'm learning how to better contextualize my thoughts and my education. So this is going to be massive for you guys. Okay. Yeah, this is it, guys. Oh, you know what I just realized? I don't think I'm sharing my screen. Am I sharing my screen? This is awkward. I wasn't even sharing my screen. You guys are just listening to me talk. You're not even listening to this is kind of hilarious. Okay. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. All right, guys, now you can actually see my slides. I was literally just talking, so you weren't even seeing the slides. It's hilarious. But anyway, so external thinker. So these are the people that we notice saying stuff like our, we, us, together, anything that has to involve a group. Okay, they're focused on their surroundings. You're going to know this type of person. Anytime you notice somebody when they speak, it sounds like they're valuing the opinions of the people around them more than themselves. So the first time I've ever truly considered this was whenever I was selling. I sold my first 6-figure deals for $108,000. It was to the YRC Freight. It was when I worked at the Yellow Pages. And when I sold this company, that's whenever this became very apparent to me. I started to learn what an external thinker looked like, somebody that cared about other people's opinions, because I was able to use everyone in the room against each other and make myself the only common variable. So whenever I learned how to do that, I was able to create a totally different type of selling process to that specific type of group of people. Now, my diagnosis was that I would focus the conversation on the people around me. Instead of focusing on selling it to one person or focus on proving my concepts and philosophy and methodology, I would talk to everyone else around me. I would get them involved in the conversation, and I would keep the momentum positive. So this way, the entire vibe of the room was positive, because a yes creates a yes, which creates a yes. So all I had to do is create yeses from people all around the room to have this domino yes effect. And it makes you the only common variable. You're the one asking the questions leading to the yes. You're the one finding the main bottleneck, and everyone's agreeing with you it's an issue. Of course it is. No one in the room understands that bottleneck besides one person. And of course, they're not going to say, well, no, you guys are all wrong. Okay. The majority is correct. So if you get a yes from their peers, it'll lead to a yes from them. Okay. This is incredibly important to recognize in boardroom sales. Okay. Not just boardroom sales, but again, if you're trying to win over a circle of friends, right? Or you're trying to go in and maybe you're talking to the girl at the bar, which again, don't use these as manipulation tactics, guys. I'm just saying, like, this is just human behavior. All right. And I started to realize this more when I started to sell in more than one person settings. So your approach is you're going to ask a question to involve the room, such as this. I understand this is a dense question. Would you be interested in also having the whatever so-and-so people weigh in? What this does is it takes the pressure off them, off the person that is the main decision maker, and allows their posse or their team, right, who are the other people weighing in the decision-making process, to be able to weigh in to say, yeah, that makes sense. A yes creates a yes, guys. I'm going to refresh this page to see how many people we got on. Okay, cool. Can you guys see my screen? Let me get a 4,000 in the chat if you guys are freaking digging this. We'll move on to number 3. 4,000 in the chat, guys, if you are getting a lot of knowledge out of this. This is the next level, guys. This is it. This is the next level. I've never consolidated the information I have into frame-by-frame slides like this. Kudos to Temple Naylor for being able to help teach me how to do this, and my other mentors. So next is the defensive persona. Oh my gosh, I hate dealing with this frame. These are frames, guys. If you notice the different personality types, these are different types of frames that the prospect will bring to you. I hate this frame. I hate this frame, but here's how you deal with it. Okay. So the frequency in this frame is you're going to notice that the defensive, they're defensive every time, no matter what statement is made, what point is made, what fact is put on the table. They're always judging somebody else. They always have a half full outlook. They never feel like anything's going to work. It's super, super annoying. Like, have you guys ever been in a sale where they're like, yeah, I've tried that and it didn't work. Oh, I hear you. But have you ever thought that of this? Or, yeah, we already did that too and it didn't work. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm interested in that right now. Like, those are all defensive personas. Okay. Your diagnosis to that and how you deal with it is you're going to approach everything with a non-threatening string of statements. So not just one non-threatening statement, but you want a string of them to create consistency. Okay. You're building up their ego by and also lowering their guard, leveling the playing field for them to be more receptive. All right. So here's how you do it. Here's a script and how you approach this type of person. And you're going to do this consistently throughout the presentation. You're going to say, first off, I applaud you for even knowing that. What you're saying makes a lot of sense. And what I've come to notice is most people don't even consider that. Obviously, you're incredibly intelligent in this field. So before we move forward in that direction, you've more than likely already considered this. And then you're going to ask whatever your question is here. So if you notice, this is the exact same strategy we use for the opinionator, where we went over here and it said, I totally agree. I can see how that makes sense. Have you also considered? We're doing the exact same thing here, but we're just framing the initial part of it differently. So this way we could appease that frame. Okay. Because whatever you do, you need to appease the frame. The frequency is their frame. Okay. This is my unique selling title to these, but this is the frame. So that's how you deal with the frame, to be able to, again, just like we talked about here, where you are lowering their guard and leveling the playing field, right? That's the same thing happening here. You need to lower their guard, level the playing field to make them more receptive, and you have to appease their frame. Boom. If you guys drop an emoji, guys, in the chat, if you guys are getting insane value out of this. Yes, this will be uploaded later to YouTube, but I'm telling you, if you want to ask questions, now is the time to do it, because I am live in person right now. Boom. On Facebook. And all right, let's go into the next frame. Yeah, guys, some next level shit here. So number 4, there's only 5 frames, and I'm going to get into the formulas. There's 2 conversation formulas you're going to want to follow. Guys, people charge for these trainings. Let me get some fucking hype up in here, all right? People charge for these trainings. If you think this is good, you should jump to my Art of Sales program. It's freaking next level, and you get coaching from me. But yeah, guys, people charge for these trainings, and I'm just freaking giving it out. Okay, personality number 4, the affirmationist. And to be honest, this is me. I am an affirmationist. That's actually one of the reasons that helped me come up with the title as I was putting together this piece of information. But affirmationists are, don't use this against me, but affirmationists are constantly praising others. My top love language is affirmations. And if you can understand love languages, it'll give you a big, it'll give you a big leg up on this. But affirmationists are constantly praising others. Rosen, let me check that out. I'm going to screenshot that, Rosen, so I can come back to your question. Okay. So frequently asked. So what happens is affirmationists are constantly in motion and acting in a way to be able to appease other people, okay, with the hope and intention of reciprocation. So if I tell you, man, you're a fucking boss, bro, you're really awesome, or hey, that looks really nice on you, then typically, and I know this from fact because I am this way, I subconsciously, and I've learned to consciously approach this, but subconsciously, right, I've learned that I crave reciprocation. Not because like I'm really needy, maybe I am, I don't know, but realistically, like that's my love language. That's how I speak. And you're going to notice that more than likely, if someone's doing this, that's probably their number one love language too. But in the sense of sales, you're going to notice that they're constantly giving out compliments. Okay, they're trying to appease someone else before themselves. So your frame, how you deal with this frame, is you need to approach the sale, okay, in the most uplifting, positive manner possible. Okay. And you need to get everyone around them to participate, but in a different way. You're not going to try to do it in a way that you did it with the boardroom, with the external thinker. You're going to do it in a way to where you can pick out a string of questions and phrases and statements that you know the majority of the outcome or the most likelihood of the response is going to be positive. And the reason why you want to do that is the more you ask these things, you're going to be able to do a technique called anchoring, which we're not going to go into today. It's a totally different NLP technique, but you're going to get them to anchor that emotion, and you're going to use that again later in the presentation. Okay. So that's how that works here with the affirmationist. So you're constantly driving positivity, and you're doing that with all the surrounding opinions and all the surrounding people. And then you're going to anchor that emotion. And you're going to anchor that whenever you go in to ask for the sale, or anytime that something negative could come up, you're going to anchor that positivity. Okay. Boom. Next one, personality 5. Actually, let me answer this question real quick. I just came off a discovery guy with a call who upfront asked me asked me if my services were commission-based or something you pay upfront. So I said the latter, and the call ended there because he said he's not in the position to invest in something like that. It's just a matter of qualifying, right? Qualifying would be number one, yes. But in the terms of how you could have responded, if we're just going to focus on that, if he said, where's the part where he said, I'm not in the position to invest in something like that, your first response would have been, hey, I appreciate your honesty. All right, what part? So Rosen Hoa, I'm reading your question here. If somebody said to me, I'm not in the position to invest in you, Rob, I would say, hey, I appreciate your honesty. What part? What part are you not in the position to invest in? Because you want to be able to uncover whatever the true root of the problem is. Remember, a great communicator is a person that can help their prospect better understand their own conversation when questions. Okay, we're digging out the root. We're helping them unpack the true truth. All right. Hope that answers your question, Rosen. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, I look at comments live, which you can actually see my screen. When you download this, I look at the comments live. So if you want to do that, join my Facebook group where we go live. So next, personality 5. This is the last personality before we get into the 2 conversation formulas that you can follow. So this way you can have a better structure. What I've come to learn in sales, guys, I could teach you guys all this stuff, but it's really hard to apply. So I've created formulas that you could then apply the structure. So the dreamer, this type of person is someone that's always coming up with a no big idea. Have you guys ever been in an appointment like that? I fucking love these appointments because you know you could sell big deals, and you should only sell these big deals to these types of people if you know you can deliver on the outcome. Again, use what I teach you with ethics. All right. So the dreamer is always focused on the big idea. If you're in an appointment, they're going to be like, yeah, that's awesome. Could we also do this? Or have you also tried this? Or do you think we could do this too? They're coming up with all these big ideas. And they're like, oh, what if we add this to our product? What if we do this? So the dreamer is all about the destination. So why this is easy for you is because you can just leverage the destination more than the bridge to get them there. And your approach to this is your approach to this is you're going to paint the picture of the destination in vivid detail. And then you're going to back the idea with just a few facts in the form of storytelling, right? So this way you could validate the increased probability of getting to the destination with as little friction as possible. All right. This is how you're able to do that with dreamers. So as an example, if they're like, yeah, I just want to do this and be able to bring on like 100 new leads a month, you're going to be like, man, I totally get it. 100 new leads would be freaking awesome. Hey, before we get into all that other stuff, with those 100 leads, I know you're telling me that you're going to drive in like an extra $1,000 a person. That's like you're closing at 20%. That's extra $20,000 a month. I know you were telling me that with like an extra $10,000 a month, you could add this, this, and this to your location. Like, have you already pictured where that's going to be in your store? They're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to put it right over there. Dude, I love that over there. You're also telling me you're looking to get like furniture to put around and a TV. Would you like wrap it around that? They're going to be like, yeah, I would. Dude, I love that. This room's going to be amazing. Like, let's just walk in real quick and visualize this together. Like, you see how I'm painting the picture, right? And it's like, man, dude, this is right around the corner. Absolutely, we could do this. Right? You see the level of confidence. Confidence closes, guys. I'm not going to get into best practices with mindset, but in the terms of how you handle a dreamer, this is how you handle it. Okay. And you, again, if you guys use this, please listen to me when I say this. Use this with ethics, because you will sell them. And if you cannot deliver on this, I am not going to be the one held responsible for teaching. I mean, it works, guys. I'm just make sure you can fulfill. Okay. So let me refresh this so I can see how many people are on. If you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. Drop a 55 in the chat right now if you guys want me to get into the conversation formulas that you could actually use in order to apply this in your next conversation or next sale, right? Or next date or whatever. So drop a 55 in the chat and I'll go to the next one. Let's freaking do this. This is next level, guys. I love this. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these where I'm literally writing out and contextualizing all of my training that I've had over the years into slides like this. Again, shout out to Temple Naylor for showing me how to set this kind of stuff up in this format. Because I've always been bad at organizing my thoughts. So I've gotten really, really fucking good at it. Okay, boom. Conversation formulas. Okay, guys. So a lot of what I just taught you is going to be incredibly, if not impossible, to apply because it all is so very intricate and very advanced. After you begin to get more natural and memorize them, it'll be easier. But remember, I've been doing this for nearly a decade now. So these formulas are to help you be able to apply this in your next conversation. Okay, it's not just concepts, right? So here's your formula. Number one, you're going to listen to them first. Let them keep talking. All right. Make sure that's all exhausted and all out. Listen first before you say anything. And don't listen with the intention to speak. Listen with the intention to hear them. All right. Number two, you're going to figure out what they want by breaking down their certain word choices. So before you speak, take a deep breath and look at the words that they said in your mind. Unless you write them on paper, then I guess look at them on paper, but you should be writing things down. It's tough to write down the whole sentence. But third, you're going to confirm that whatever they want through restating it. So they say, yeah, I'm just looking, for leads. I want to be able to get some leads this month. I'd really like an extra 20 leads for my business. You're going to say, okay, so just to make sure I heard you right, you're looking for an extra 20 leads. Okay, what would that do for you? Actually, I hate that. Don't ever fucking say that. But so I'm not going to get to the detail of that. When you say restate whatever they said, so you're looking for 20 leads, what exactly does a lead look like to you? Okay, and they're going to be able to say, well, it looks like this, this, and this. And then you start breaking that question down, just like here, you break down certain word choice. And then paint the picture of that through storytelling. Okay, so now what I'm hearing is that you're looking for this type of lead, whatever that is, you break it down, because what you want is this. Am I hearing you right? You're going to say, yeah. Then you're going to project the vision of what they want with your message in mind. Okay, this is you selling your service. That's your message in mind. Okay, so now you're going to restate what their vision is, getting them to the destination with storytelling, and then you're going to embed your service. All right, so here's how that would look. You would say something along the lines of, Hey man, I totally love it. Okay, so just from the sounds of it, it looks like you, just from the sounds of it, it looks like you want to be able to generate X amount of leads. Your definition of a lead is this, because what you're trying to do is this. I love that. Honestly, we've seen that with a lot of other people, and we've been able to make that happen by just doing a really small tweak of this. Obviously you're a very smart person, so that's probably something you already know about. But after we get you to that destination, what that's going to look like is, so you had that small little thing right in the middle there. It almost looked like it didn't even happen, but now it's in their subconscious and they heard you. Now you're talking about the destination again. Okay. You project the vision of what they want, which you now know, with your message in mind, which is your service. And this is this is inception selling. You're planting your service inside of their vision, and then it becomes one thing. All right. Let me get a fucking 28 in the chat if you guys are losing your mind right now. Okay. I put this in the most simple context I can here. That's right, Temple. That's right, bro. I see your comment there. I'm going to go ahead and get it with an emoji. So this is the inception selling process. Okay. This is how you're able to train their thoughts. Okay. Ingraining your solutions as their own answer and bridging the gap in their thoughts. Okay. You're bridging the gap in their thoughts with your service or your tool. Okay. It's sick. Fucking love it. This is next level. Nobody's teaching it like this. Been doing this for a decade. Okay. Ain't my first rodeo. 6 presidents clubs and sales when I sold for different corporate industries. And as you know, I've sold over $1 million in digital marketing over the last 2 years. And I will be on the verge of selling $1 million in coaching services by end of next year. Sales are just conversations, guys. We're bridging the gap between destinations using our services. I'm going to get into something more advanced. You guys want to see the advanced formula? Drop a fire emoji down below, and I'm going to get into the advanced formula on how to be able to use future pacing and reverse engineer conversations. Okay. Let me get some fire emojis down below. Boom, refresh. This is going to be our last slide, guys, and we're done. I'll open up the floor for some questions if you have any. But yeah, this is pretty next level, guys. I'm really excited that you tuned in on here. If you want to do some more advanced stuff, you can book a call with me in the description above if you're in my Facebook group. So let me get an emoji. Let me get a fire emoji down below, guys. We got like 20 people on. See what we got down here. And I'm going to get into the advanced formula of this right now. Oh, boom. Now the fire emojis are coming in. I was just saying, if we don't want to look at this, we don't have to. All right, let's get into the advanced formula. This is the last thing, and then this live will be done. So advanced formula. This is how you're going to be able to use a future pace and then reverse engineer the conversation. So the way the formula works is you're going to put yourself in the prospect's shoes. Next, and basically what that means is you're basically playing devil's advocate here. Because, they're trying to play devil's advocate. They want to prove you wrong. They want to believe everything you're doing is right because they have their guard up. Number 2, you're going to imagine that they're just going to disagree with everything you plan to say. Just assume they're going to disagree with everything you say. All right. So you get yourself in the prospect's shoes. Assume they're going to disagree with everything you're going to say. Think about every question you're going to ask and what does each of their responses look like? Write it down. Okay. Where does the reason for that response originate? Figure that out. Okay. If they come up with a response and it's not positive, why isn't it positive? And then you're going to address that elephant in the room. So this way you can clear that up. Now you're going to play this whole conversation backwards in your head. So after you've laid out all the questions that you're going to ask, all their responses and why they responded that way, you're going to play it backwards. And this is going to help you craft a better direct set of questions moving forward. Okay, you guys catch that? So you're going to move forward, then you're going to move backwards, and then you're going to move forward again. Does that make sense, guys? It's freaking, this right here, guys, is exactly how, if anybody asks, Rob, you're so smooth. Rob, you always know what to say. Oh, did you plan this out beforehand? How did you know that? Okay. So that happens because I always I put myself in the prospect's shoes and I ask, what are they going to think when I say this? Why are they going to respond that way? What other ways could they respond? Okay, well, now before I go into the meeting, I'm going to have responses for all their responses. I sound smooth because I'm prepared. Okay, I don't practice on my customer. I remember the days I used to write out note cards of every objection I ever heard, and I would have different rebuttals for every single objection. And at the time, they were rebuttals because I thought sales was a matter of overcoming objections. But now the way I respond is more of a question to be able to find the root of their truest response so I can unpack what they're feeling and what they're thinking. Okay, sales is emotion. It's a transfer of emotion. It's understanding. And Temple's right. Nobody's teaching this. I've been doing this for a decade. I've always been told what I do is not duplicatable. But I didn't accidentally win 6 President's Clubs selling for corporate before I was 25. I didn't accidentally sell a $108,000 deal to a Fortune 500 company that I acquired through a cold call at 24 on accident. Okay. I didn't go in and accidentally build a multi-6-figure business in a year. Okay. It's all about understanding what people need and delivering that. So Rosen said, the guy I was speaking with didn't uncover his pains to me. I could tell because he kept saying he was getting good responses from Facebook ads, not paying clients. Totally reminds me of Never Split the Difference by, I haven't read that book, but I heard it was really good. So can I just address this, Rosen? You said right here, he kept saying he was getting good responses. This is your opening right here. Anytime, and I do this a lot with people in my Art of Sales program. If you guys aren't in that, you can book a call with me above to see if it's a good fit for you. But when it comes to things like this, and they say, or because all the agency owners I work with and business owners, they say, well, this person said this. Okay, that's your gateway. He said he was getting good responses. Okay, what do you define as a good response? Did he say, yeah, I'm giving you my credit card. Are you closing 1 for 1? Are you closing at 100%? In my world of good responses, a good response is somebody that says, yes, I'd like to give you my credit card information. Will you take it? What is your definition of a good response? Oh, okay, it's not that. Do you believe that there's room to make it better? You see how that completely opens up the room for conversation? Now you can start getting into your actual, like, the problem solving. But you can't do that until they fully understand. Remember, the best communicators know how to get their prospects to better understand their own questions or their own statements. Figure out whatever that good response means to him. All right, guys, that's the whole thing. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll answer those right now. This is the entire process on how to listen yourself into the sale leveraging personality types. This is a very, very high level psychology selling. I love this stuff, and I'm going to start doing more of these. If you want more of the high level stuff, I'm going to have that in my Art of Sales program. And little word on the street, there might be an intro to sales course coming. But anyway, if you guys love this, you want to book a call to see if this program is a good fit for you, you can do that above. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer them for the next 5 minutes while I drink this tea. But yeah, guys, if you learn how to master this and what you learned here today, you will literally be able to control, you'll be able to write your own ticket. You'll be able to navigate any conversation with ease and to be able to know exactly how to communicate your way to a mutually beneficial outcome. So drop any comments you have below. My biggest objection, okay, we got a few here. My biggest objection, fear, is being told that it's too expensive or that they would love or that they would love to but couldn't really afford it. That's a pre-qualifying thing, Teddy. So you want to make sure that you have pre-qualified them so they actually have the money to do it. But if that's your biggest objection, fear, is being told that it's too expensive or that they would love to but can't really afford it, that's definitely a pre-qualifying thing. You would just follow up with them until they can. Just check in with them. Is how you're going to handle that. So let me see here. So we should always feed their ego on certain points. Yes. There are plenty of times where you're going to have to feed their ego. Good question. Yep. And if you notice when we talked about that, oh, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Brad Newman, I'm going to heart that comment because I love that shit. Brad approved. Yeah, if you guys want to be able to see if this, if my Art of Sales program is the right fit for you, you can just go up and click the link in the description, book a call with me personally. The only time you want to appease their ego, it definitely matters because if you're dealing with an opinionator, it's going to be a totally different type of approach than you're going to have with like the defensive persona. If you're dealing with a defensive persona, then they already have their guard up and you have to come at it from a completely different angle to be able to navigate that frame. But someone that's opinionated won't be nearly as aggressive to you. Okay, it's a lot easier because there's not so many walls to work around. All right, guys. So that's that. All right, if you guys have any questions, you can let me know. This will be uploaded onto YouTube. I love seeing that we have a few dozen people on these lives. These trainings are badass, and I'm going to be going more intricate into these here, into my processes moving forward. Again, shout out to Temple Nader, show me how to actually organize my thoughts into slides. I have a Zoom meeting this afternoon on a discovery call. My prospect sounded keen already, asking about pricing. Closing him would make him my first client, so I don't have any results backing up my solution. My question is, should I try closing him as a paying client? Always a paying client. Always a paying client. Always a paying client. Yes. Always. I had a client ready to go for 3K. Was an hour away from the onboarding call with the client, got his credit card in hand. He saw my live close on YouTube for 12,000 backed out. What would you do in order to attempt to save the deal? Right off the bat, if you would want to be on the phone to ask him this question, because he's probably going to be reluctant to want to message you at all because he's already defensive. But I would jump on the call and say, what part of that bothered you? Because you can then let him know. If he says, well, I feel like you're just selling me. Well, I would ask him, because again, you guys remember, this is right here. This is right here. Remember? This is exactly the future pace reverse engineer. So I'm doing it right now to Temple's question, where I'm working forward to work backwards to work forward. Okay. So Temple, what I would have said is, what part of that didn't you like? And they're going to say, well, I felt like you just tried to close him. I would have said, okay. Right off the bat, I would have said, what part of that didn't you like that they saw the value in it? Like what do you believe made them want to buy? And he's going to tell you, I believe that they bought because you smooth talked them, or I believe they bought because they saw value in the product, or I believe they bought because they were confused, or I believe they bought because it's the best thing they've ever seen. These are all the different answers they're going to say. So I would come up with my response question, which isn't a rebuttal. It's going to be another question to what their answer is, because we still haven't gotten to the deep meaning yet. So they say, I felt like you just sold them. On what part? What part do you feel like I sold them on? Because what you're trying to do is get that customer, Temple, to basically just tell you that I don't want to buy because I feel like you just sold me. And if they realize that that's not why you sold them, they bought because they knew it was the right solution for them, they're not going to care. Okay. And then if at the end of the day, you could just say like, look, you bought from me. If you did feel like I just sold you, do you feel like learning how to do that would be helpful for you? Do you feel like it's the best thing to do for the person you talk to if you know that your solution works? At what point in time do you choose not to sell somebody when you know it's the right fit for them? These are all questions I would respond with that I just think right off the bat because they're going to help my client. How would you go about pre-qualifying them for price? I use a VSL, video sales letter or mini webinar. That's what we teach in the Art of Sales, which you can book at appointments up above. I think I have a few slots for Thursday, unless people just book them up because I saw appointments coming in. Got you, homie. I got you, Temple. How far? I'm going to actually bring this back over here. How far should you go with showing previous results, portfolios, etc., as in what types of material? Teddy, you don't really need to. I actually just posted a live close for I think closer for 36 grand earlier this week to somebody that I've never met before, to an industry I've never sold before, to a customer I had no information on and had no case studies or testimonials, and sold it for 36. It was like 4,000 on an 8-month contract. So you can go back and watch that, but I didn't need to talk about ads or testimonials or anything else prior to. You don't need those. If they start asking more for that, it's because they are questioning your process. And my philosophy behind that is, why shouldn't you believe me if I believe me? So I just take it away from them. All right, guys. Do we have any other questions? I am hopping off. This is Rob Quinn signing out. I'm going to like that because I really like that comment. Affirmations, baby. All right. I'm out of here, guys. Glad you love that. If you want to book a call with me, do it above. If you're on YouTube, go join my Facebook group, book a call with me, because we will freaking help you blow your agency up or your business without having to get a whole bunch of freaking leads. Because if you close more leads, you make more money. Your business is not hurting because you don't have ads running. It's hurting because you can't close the leads coming in. And then you should turn on ads so you can make a shit ton more money. So that's it, guys. I will see you on the next one.